very good. I'm going to riffle through this book. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you just to say, stop on any page you want. So as I riffle, just say, stop. Okay, very good. And ask you to look right here. I can't see it. The top word, first word at the top of that page, you've got it. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to it, okay? Sherlock Holmes, the complete text of all his stories. I'm going to hand this book out in just a moment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask those of you to whom I hand the book to open the book to any page you want. Then I'm going to ask you to look down the page. Please don't look at the first line or the last line, and please, because those have typically either Watson or Holmes in it, please don't select Watson or Holmes as your word, because that's going to be a given in this book. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to just go to any page, scan down the page, and look for the biggest word, the longest word. It will make this the most interesting and the most exciting, okay? And again, not on the first line, not on the bottom line. Go somewhere in the text and find the biggest word, the longest word, and then remember it, okay? And so what I'm going to do, may I hand you the book? May I ask you please just to open it up to wherever you want, and then scan down, not the first line, not the last line, please not Watson or Holmes. Find the biggest word, the longest word. Don't tell me what it is, but I want you, once you have it, to just say, I have my word, and then close the book, and then I'll have you stand up if it's okay. And then I'm going to, may I hand you the book as well? And I'm going to ask you please to do the same. To open it to any page you want, to scan down the page. Please, not the first line, not the bottom line, not Watson, not Holmes. I want you please to select the longest word you find, the most letters, and you've got your word very good. And silently remember it. I'll have you hand me back the book. Thank you. Perfect. And then may I hand you the book and ask you to do the same. Just to open the book, any page you want, select longest word, not the first line, not the bottom line, not Watson, not Holmes. Repetitive theme here. You've got it. Well done. I'll ask you please to stand up, and then I'm going to come around to here. May I hand you the book? Thank you. And I'm going to ask you, please, to do the same. Open the book to any page you want, and select long word, not the top line, not the bottom line, not Watson, not Holmes. And once you've got it, then I'll just get the book back from you, and then I'll ask you to stand up as well. Very good. Thank you. Okay. And now, I want you all please to remember your words. This is how I get my exercise. Okay. A deck of cards. Going to remove, well, we'll keep the joker in. We will shuffle up the deck. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, so that the deck is thoroughly mixed, I am going to ask, if I may, I am going to ask, please, I'm going to have you just say stop at any time. Stop. Very good. I'm going to have you set that face down so we don't see it. Very good. I'm going to take the deck, and I'm going to place rubber bands around it. In a moment, I am going to hand the deck out to 4 people, place it into their palm. And then I'm going to ask you just to crack it open once. Remember the card that you see, and then I'll come and get it. Just crack it open once. Okay? Look at the card. Crack it open once. Look at the card. crack it open one time and look at the card, okay? So if I may I hand you the deck? I'm going to have you, as I said, crack it open, look at the card, okay, and then let it drop back down, and then when you're done, I'll take the deck back. Please remember your card, and I'll have you stand up as well. And then, may I hand you the deck? Have you just crack it open, remember the card you see, let it drop back down, and then hand me back the deck. And thank you, and have you stand up, okay? And so we've got 2 cards so far, yes? Okay. You've got a word you're thinking of. And may I hand you the deck, have you crack it open, look at a card, remember it, and then I'll take the deck back. Very good. Have you stand up, please? May I hand you the deck? Have you crack it open, look at a card, and then drop it down, remember it, and I'll have you stand up. Very good, thank you. Now, and you selected a card as well, am I right? Don't show it to us yet, but I'm going to have you stand up also. Okay, those of you who selected words from the book, I'm going to ask you, you're all standing up, and in the back we have a word. Please, you may stand up as well. And I'm going to ask you all to turn around and face the wall that way, okay? So that I can't get an impression from your eyes. Don't do anything yet. I'm going to mention the words. I'm going to mention, I'm getting the impression of the word throne, an impression of the word presence, an impression of the word morning. If I mentioned your word, please turn back around. And if I mentioned your word, please sit down. Very good. And now, cards. Those of you that have a card, concentrate on it and have you turn around, face the wall, and then I'm going to have you, in a moment, okay, getting the impression of 5 of diamonds, 3 of clubs, 8 of spades, queen of hearts. If I mention your card, please turn around and sit back down. Okay. I still have 2 people standing, yes? Please, in the back, you have a word. I want you, please, to turn back around and face us. You are concentrating on a word you selected totally at random from the book, am I right? I want you, please, to spell it over and over in your mind's eye. Because as you do, concentrating on your word reminds us of what brings patients into the physician in the first place, and what brings them in to the psychiatrist. Because these individuals are experiencing intrapsychic conflict, psychiatric distress and disturbance, and they're coming in with their troubles. Troubles, is that correct? Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for assisting. You selected a card at random, and you have that card there. And when I called out all the cards, I didn't call out your card, did I? No, because this is a prelude to medical jurisprudence and medical ethics. We're going to talk about issues of malpractice, insurance, and you see, I have a magical insurance policy. You want to be certain that the insurance policy you have covers the practice that you have and the conditions. You want to be certain to read the conditions. The most common contract entered into in the United States is the insurance contract. The least read document in the United States is the insurance contract. And this says all parties involved must be dealing with a full deck of cards. Hopefully we are. This policy is valid on Monday through Friday and weekends only. Very good. And this says it's going to help us locate your card my insurance policy. I'm going to ask you please to pick up the card and to show it to us and announce what your card is.
King of Hearts.
The King of Hearts, and in fact, that is our insurance.